video is going to be about what do we do when we're in a situation with somebody and we are forced to interact with them, either at work, our neighbor, a family member, and there's some toxicity there. There's comments that are made under breath. There's a dance going on that we may not want to participate in, and we feel like the other person is egging us on. What is it that we can do in order to protect ourselves without engaging, without getting into an all-out fight with this person, which is what they may want us to do, right? So we know from narcissistic behaviors that people sometimes get a thrill out of egging us on, seeing us react, and it's an adrenaline boost. How do we protect ourselves from that? And I've been reading a lot about detachment theory. It's really about just pulling back and watching our situation as though we were watching a movie or we were watching somebody else going through this. It brings us objectivity. It takes our emotions and out of the equation. It helps us take things less personally so we don't lose our footing. The last thing that we want to do when someone's trying to egg us on is to tumble and fall and to say stupid stuff and start getting really defensive, because in that regard, they've won, right? The power has shifted to them. That's what they may be wanting you to do, so they can watch you tumble and they can watch you fall and be like, yeah, I got this one. Instead, just pulling back and looking at it as though it's a movie. It's not really happening to us. It's not personal, and being able to practice that mindset so it's really easy to do when somebody starts going in for the kill. Another thing that I found has worked for me when I'm just a complete loss of what to do in dealing with a really difficult person is to pretend that I'm giving somebody else advice. So I think of somebody that I know and I think about somebody I care about, and if they were to tell me that they were going through this very same exact situation, what would I recommend that they do? And that can really, that's part of the detachment theory, right? Like, it's happening to somebody else. It's not happening to me. We all have our soft spots. We've all been through childhood, adolescence. We all have certain issues. We all carry some baggage. We work on ourselves. We try and heal. We get better. But for many of us, some of those triggers are just, they're there. And if we can't completely turn off and not feel anything, if we could just detach, pretend we're watching a movie, telling ourselves like, hey, what would I tell Susie if she had told me that she was in this situation, and react the same way? It gives us an objectivity in which we can hold on to our spiritual sovereignty. And I talk a lot about that. That's about, I believe that the Spirit has brought us down here, that we're here on earth to have a certain purpose, to participate in a certain way. And when someone eggs us on, they take us away from our focus. It takes us away from what we are meant to do, because we're so focused on the insults, the digs, the passive-aggressive comments, that we can't focus on why we're here, because we're dwelling on stuff and we're going over it and over it in our heads. And for many of us, it's like, what could I have said that would have been the smartest thing ever? And that's all a waste of time, right? Because you're not in that situation anymore. The moment has passed, and it's preparing ourselves for the future when these people that we know are typically going to trigger us again. And just being able to pull back, not take things personally, pretending that we're watching a movie, asking ourselves how I should handle it by pretending that I'm giving somebody else advice, and then walking into the situation with that attitude can really help. And the last thing that I'll say is, when we're in a situation with somebody that we may care about and we may love, but they have a certain personality or a certain way about them that isn't always pleasant for us, it's okay, I think, to create a distance and still love that person. And I think for me anyway, when I think about loving somebody, you're supposed to hold them close and love them forever. But for some people, it's in our best interest and in their best interest to create that boundary and say, I'm still going to love you, but I need some space here because of some behaviors that are very upsetting and take me down and take me away from my focus, take me away from my purpose, take me away from why I was put here on earth, focusing on you and the interaction and the toxic tango between us. So I hope these tips help you. I know that all of us get triggered by somebody. We all have that person in our life that likes to make comments, say things under their breath, hurt us, and we need to really think about how we're going to prepare ourselves. In the moment, it can be really difficult. It's about preparation and walking into the situation with the detachment, with the attitude of pretending it's a movie. What would I say to somebody else? Even seeing yourself as though you are somebody else in that situation. How would I direct this movie? And this can give us some power over our own lives. We don't waste much of our energy and our potential and our possibility and why we're here. I hope this helps you, and if you like this, please like, comment, and subscribe for more. And thank you so much for watching. If you think somebody else can benefit from this, please pass it on.